Hey, we're just a couple of weeks away from first pitch on opening day, but whether you still have a draft to complete or you need some trade targets, I've got 3 guys that you should own. Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome into the Fantasy Headliners. Thanks so much for tuning in to this Fantasy Baseball must-have episode. I appreciate everyone for taking some time out of their day to check out what we have to say about 3 players that you should either be targeting drafts if you haven't drafted yet, or maybe you should try trading for them. Either way, though, they're guys that you should have on your team for this season based on their current price tag. If you are a current member of Headliner Nation, thanks so much for coming back for another episode. But if you are not, and you have not subscribed to the channel yet, do that. I guarantee you that you will not regret subscribing to the channel. We appreciate all the subs. And let us know in the comments below. If you sub to the channel, we will welcome you to Headliner Nation personally. I'm Kyle Richardson, if you don't know me yet, and we're going to talk a little bit of must-have today for 3 players. And the first player is a guy who's playing pretty well here in spring training, who is starting to catch a few eyes. So depending on your league, maybe he hasn't caught the eye of one of the owners in there yet. So you can try taking him a little bit early. Jack Flaherty from the St. Louis Cardinals. ADP currently at a 64.4. He is the starting pitcher number 20, so he's the 20th overall starting pitcher being taken in drafts right now, according to ADP. In 2018, a 3.34 ERA and 151 innings pitched, 182 strikeouts. So just a few guys that are going, after him, or excuse me, before him. Right now, you've got guys. Steven Strasburg is somebody that's going before him. Mike Clevenger. Clayton Kershaw, who is dealing with injury issues, James Paxton, Patrick Corbin, Walker Buehler, just a few names that are all the way up there in front of Jack Flaherty. Honestly, he probably needs to be a little bit closer to 15 than he is to 10, if not into that 15 range. He's been pitching very, very well in spring training so far, and I know it's only spring training. Don't read a whole lot into it, but a 277 earned run average in 13 innings pitched, has only given up 10 hits, has struck out 19 players, and only walked 3. He looks great right now. He's definitely got a 13.2 strikeout per 9 innings right now. He's definitely a guy that is a really solid starting pitcher too for me. I fully believe that he will be that this season with the upgrade that they have made in the lineup there in St. Louis with Paul Goldschmidt, some bounce back candidates. I really fully believe that the Cardinals are in for a really good year, and Jack Flaherty could be at the very top of that rotation, and he could be a guy that really breaks out and becomes one of the top pitchers in all of baseball this year. So you do not want to miss out on him. Make sure that you're targeting him if you haven't drafted yet. If you have drafted, maybe there's a team that has Jack Flaherty. Maybe they're a little short on pitching. Maybe you can offer a couple pitchers for him, or if you have some better hitters, offer up a hitter to get him onto your team. The name hasn't really popped out at this point yet, so he doesn't have a ton of name value right this minute, but that's going to change really soon. So get him before he does. Moving on to my next player, Eugenio Suarez, third baseman from the Cincinnati Reds, ADP of 55, the 9th overall third baseman taken right now. And last season, a career year for him, 283, 34 home runs, 104 RBIs. He is going to be in the middle of a lineup that I believe is much improved this year. Joey Votto, hopefully he gets back to being himself. If he does, that's excellent for this lineup. Jessie Winker is a guy that I want to keep an eye on too, towards the top of the lineup. I really like him as a player, a really solid contact guy. He could hit high 200s, low 300s. A little bit of pop, he's still developing that though, but he could be a guy hitting in front of Suarez that could be on base a lot. And obviously you've got guys like Scooter Gennett, Yasiel Puig. If Jose Peraza could get going, if he could get going, I would love to see a lineup where you had like Peraza, Winker, and then you went something like Votto, Suarez, and then either Puig or Gennett after that. That kind of a lineup would look awesome to me and would have a whole lot of potential in it. The 9th overall third baseman being taken right now. That would seem to be a good value for most people probably, but you have to keep in mind he's only 26 years old. Like, he's still breaking out at this point. I mean, is this what we're going to get from him every single season? Maybe not, but he has shown us he's capable of it. And at that age, we have to continue to keep an eye on it. I mean, here's the thing. Like, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is still going in front of Eugenio Suarez right now. And trust me, I think Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is going to be an amazing prospect. I think he's going to be really good this year. But in redraft leagues, these two shouldn't be going near each other. Guerrero needs to be going a little bit further down. You're not going to get him for another month and a half anyway. So why don't you get yourself somebody in the lineup, a solid third baseman, a guy that's going to produce, a guy that's going to have really good numbers for you. I mean, he's definitely, I think he deserves to be up in that area. I would pair him right next to Anthony Rendon. I think Suarez might have a little bit more upside, especially with power numbers, than Rendon. I would take Rendon as a more safe player, but I think Suarez owns a little bit more of a ceiling than what Rendon does at this point. So keep your eye on him as well. Moving on to our final player, Chris Davis. And if you follow me on Twitter, you had probably seen a little piece that I posted about Chris Davis, but a couple of weeks ago, I believe what it was, March 6th. So if you saw that, you already know what I'm going to say. But if you didn't, let me go ahead and throw these numbers out to you here real quick. So over the past 3 seasons, only one major league hitter has at least 40 home runs and 100 RBIs in each season. And yes, it is Chris Davis. Now, if you didn't know who that was, I wouldn't have blamed you, because I didn't know that stat either. But that is an excellent stat. Another fun fact to go with it, he's hit 247 in each of the last 3 seasons. So, or each of the last 4 seasons. I mean, he's been consistent. He doesn't have the batting average. Last season, 247, 48, 123. ADP of 41.8 right now, the 17th outfielder taken. I mean, he's got it. He's got power. He doesn't have that average, but he's got the RBI opportunities. He's definitely a guy that I want to own. He even becomes a better pick if you play in a league where you don't have average. If you don't take into account average, then 100% you need to be all over Chris Davis, and he needs to be going even further than 17. Without average, he's a top 10 outfielder in my mind, or very close to it. Strikeouts too. The strikeouts are always going to be a high. 175 last season, the second highest total that he's had in the majors. But the good news is it was actually lower than the 195 he had before. So last year, career year at 30 years old, most home runs, most RBIs. Again, that 247 average brought those strikeouts down a little bit. Didn't walk nearly as much as the year before, but give me those power numbers. And again, too, if this is a league too that doesn't account strikeouts either, then he's also another great grab. So he's an outfielder that is consistent. You know what you're going to get. He's going to bring the power. He's going to bring the RBIs. You definitely want to have him in your lineup. If you decided to go early, like if you have one of the first couple of picks and you take a Mookie or you take a Trout, this would be a guy that I would love to pair with them a few rounds later. So keep an eye on Chris Davis too. See how far he falls, but don't let him fall too far. You also, too, if you're looking at a team, if he's on a team right now that maybe has a decent amount of power but needs some help in the batting average, offer up somebody and get Chris Davis and get him on your team. As always, make sure you hit those comments up below. Are there any must-have players that you're going for right now? What do you think about these 3 guys right now? Are you targeting them? Have you already got them in your drafts? Let us know in the comments below. We're one of the most interactive channels here on YouTube. If you comment, we respond. Again, please also, if you'd like the content, hit that subscribe button and let us know so we can welcome you to Headliner Nation. And as always, we appreciate the likes on the video as well. Spring training is almost over. The fantasy baseball season is ready to get underway. The regular season is ready to get underway. Excited for that. Make sure you're staying right here all season long for fantasy baseball content. Obviously, we still have fantasy football content as well. Check out all of our other videos too, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thanks.